Good day, everyone. I am Lloyd Ner Bongalos. Today, I am going to report about one of the most important unit in determining inflation, the Consumer Price Index or the CPI. The Consumer Price Index or CPI basically measures the average change in prices over time that consumers pay for goods and services. It is the measure that analyzes the weighted average of prices of consumer goods and services. For example, these goods and services include transportation, food, and medical care. To calculate if you have to take the price changes for each item in the goods and services and average them. If there are changes in the CPI, it shows that there are price changes associated with the cost of living. In other words, as CPI changes, the money you spend in your daily life changes as well. CPI can also be used to determine inflation or deflation. How does the Consumer Price Index work? CPI is an economic indicator and is used to measure inflation and deflation, and also the effectiveness of the government's economic policy. The CPI can give everyone information on the price changes in the economy and helps the government make decisions about the economy. CPI can also be used by governments to deflate the economy. Who and what are covered under CPI? Statistics cover professionals, self-employed, unemployed, people who have income under the poverty line, and retired people in the country. People not included in the CPI report are rural populations, farm families, armed forces, people who are currently incarcerated, and those in mental hospitals. The goods and services are recorded on a monthly basis and are broken into eight major groups: housing, apparel, transportation, education and communication, medical care, recreation, food and beverages, and other goods and services. How is CPI calculated? Before calculating CPI, it is important to understand what a market basket is. The market basket is a fixed set of goods and services whose prices are used to calculate changes in prices year on year. The goods and services in the basket vary by country due to differing consumption habits and also have different weighings. The consumer price index is measured by analysis the price of the goods and services in that market basket. Well, now that we know that CPI is measured by looking at changes in the prices of the market basket, let's see how it's actually done. Let's look at a series of the years and the nominal prices of the same market basket in each year. We will start with 1990 and use it as our base year. By base year, I mean it will be the year against which we compare changes in price. It is the beginning year for this set of data. In the second column, we list the nominal prices of the market basket each year. You can see a trend of increasing prices, and we will use this information in the final column to calculate our price index. The CPI is calculated by dividing the current price of the market by the market basket of the base year, which is then multiplied by 100. It's also very important to remember that the CPI is not a percentage, so we don't add a percentage sign afterwards. Applying the formula to each year, we are able to arrive at the Consumer Price Index from 1990 to 2005. I've used simple calculations to illustrate, but you may see some examples that are slightly more complicated than this. By looking at CPI over years, we can calculate the inflation rate. In this table, we will lay out the same years and the CPI we calculated for each year. As we are always comparing to base year, we will also calculate inflation for each year compared to the base year of 1995. When calculating the inflation rate, it's vital that you subtract the CPI of the comparison year from the CPI of the new year and then divided by the value of the comparison year. And it's far more common to see year on year comparisons of inflation as well as monthly comparisons. The information provided in this slide is just to act as an illustration. The following inflation rates have been calculated for each year. We always include the percentage sign when calculating the inflation rate. Always ensure that your calculations are written out as such if necessary. That's all for the basic explanation and understanding on Consumer Price Index or the CPI. Once again, I am Lloyd Ner Bongalos. Thank you very much for listening and watching.